Okay, my last video was cut short because I ran out of time on the camera. So I want to finish this up because this is important, I think. It may sound like a simple thing, but this Freedom Star is made like I told you, with 180 of these doves folded to a certain stage I call the diamond stage. Okay, and 180 degrees is a turnabout and looking back at your beginning. You go back to the beginning and see what it is we missed, because this is the way God moves, in an alternating way. And when you fold the cranes or the doves, you can meditate. And people need something to do to feel like they're doing something. I used to go to a spiritual teacher that would tell us, just be love. And we thought, tell us what to do. We don't know how to just be love. It's like, that should be simple to understand how to just be love. Always watch your thoughts and your words and actions and be love. But we wanted to do something, and most people do want to feel like they're doing something, physically doing something, you know. So I thought, why not make the Freedom Star, make it popular around the world, make people aware that they can fold this. And let me tell you how many stars it generates once you turn this inside out and upside down and put the last two pieces in upside down. It makes 12 5-pointed stars and 20 6-pointed stars, altogether 32. But if you consider the whole as one more, then there's 33, and that's a very special number, 33. It means completion, and there's 33 vertebrae in the spine. It's just the full measure of something. It's a universal service number too, for our universal service. And I think it would be wonderful if people could make these of all different colors and make them out of paper, maybe make them out of other things as well. I used to have this saying, I still do. It's my saying. You know, everybody says, I came up with that. But this is mine, because I was working so much with paper and thinking so many thoughts to God and about life in general. And I started thinking, there's nothing so wrong with this world that a lot of paper and tape won't fix it. And why is that important? It's because everything is ideal. And with the paper and the tape and the clay and the wire and all the things I make things out of, I could say that about any of them. There's nothing so wrong with the world that a whole lot of wire won't fix it. Because it has to be fixed in our minds. Because there's where ideal is. And ideal is the only thing that's real. Now, we're living in a world where there's a lot of ideals floating out there. We need something to calm us down. I mean, if you watch YouTube and look at some of people's videos they're posting, they're spreading a lot of conspiracy theories. Some of them may have some truth to them, but most of them are fearful and fear-based, and they promote nothing but more fear and more hatred, and that will get us absolutely nowhere. Because, as Jesus said, love the enemy. That is the way to having peace in the world, even though people think, oh no, we've got to be armed to the hilt. We've got to be better armed than any other country. We've got to stop them from building nuclear weapons, even though we have built them, and we've used the atomic bomb, and we've abused power in our country. And there's this, do not apologize, we're the number one. U.S. is right in everything we do, but we're not. We need to apologize, and we need to forgive, and we need to teach that to others, but we've got to teach it to ourselves first. We've got to learn it. To watch where our thoughts are going. There's so much, once you understand it, about conspiracies, and some of them are very true, but there's so much about it that makes you go into that place where, okay, I'm afraid now. I'm scared. I'm angry. I'm mad. I want to do something. I want to get even. I want to rebel. There's so many thoughts that we have. That to have something to make like the Freedom Star and to fold these papers and think loving thoughts and keep your mind on loving thoughts as you fold each little square of paper. And then putting them together and thinking about how thought can say, this represents the magnetic poles of the earth changing. It doesn't have to be like with the dinosaurs. When they went extinct, it might have been a pole shift. You know, that's possible, we don't know. But we don't need that kind to happen now. There's too many people on the earth that would just do away with us. So, let's do it mentally. Let's do it with our thoughts. Let's make these freedom stars. And when you get them, I'm going to show in other videos the making of the Freedom Star, and I hope people will want to follow my instructions so they know how to make them themselves. It's not true origami because I use tape, and a true origamist would never use tape. They know too well how to fit paper together. But this is my version of something to make that represents something, because this is Nikola Tesla's vision of the earth, was that it would be Freedom Star, and light would be coming from all the land masses, lots of light to shine, electrically shine everywhere. Poor people, third world people will have electricity, and electricity is power, and power is God. And it can be had by thought. I mean, the masters of the Far East, they didn't use a device. Wherever they walked, there was light and there was warmth, and they could still the weather, walk on the water, teleport, be in more places than one at the same time. They could do so many things. And in a way, our computers are doing some of those things, because with this video, I can be in a lot of places talking at the same time, because more than one person can look at this at the same time. But the computers are just showing us what we're going to be doing in a different kind of way, showing us all of the possibilities. We can use telepathy to send our thoughts. We can teleport. We can do so many things that we have, as yet, not a whole lot of ideas about. Some of us do. Some of us are thinking about it real much. And keep on thinking about it, because it is going to come true, I do believe. And I'm rather excited. I'll show you some other pictures here. Oh, I'll show you. This one is when you take the dove and unfold it, and you make a line for every fold. And this portion I'm pointing to is just one fold. I mean, to say it's one sheet of paper that made one dove, and then I unfolded it, and so altogether here there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And they put them together where the heads of the dove all come together in the center, and you get this matrix here. And it looks like beams of light coming out from a central source. And these here look sort of like spaceships or something. There's 4 of them. And there's other beams of light on the corners. And you can put these together and make a bigger one. See, it will generate several of these central things. I call it the matrix, the hologram, hologram-like construction. And there's one, show you a picture of, and even fell in love with this idea so much that I made it out of wire and put it outside. This is really big. It took me forever and a lot of wire to make this. But this stands outside, and I just fell in love with this idea. Okay, now what do you see here? You see an orb. I'm going to show you a lot of pictures as I talk. I've been so interested in light I've been so interested in knowing the thoughts of God that I think God is talking to me in the light now. But I'm not hearing completely accurately everything. But I am getting lots of good pictures of orbs of light. And I discovered this quite kind of just by playing around. Everything that I learn, it's not usually a lot of study, and I shy away from taking courses, anything where you have to really dig to get the information, and you have to be really smart to understand it even. I like to understand by playing. You just play with something, then you get very intimate with that. Whatever you're playing with, like I use paper and I use clay, and boy, you're just touching it all over and feeling the possibilities that are in that sheet of paper or that lump of clay. And now I'm playing with my camera with light. And I discovered how to take these pictures you're seeing right now. These are orbs of light. And it's so simple. Anyone can do this. I think anyone can. You take pictures of light. You have to have a LED light. I'll show you my LED light right there. That's it. It's a little light I got at IKEA. And it makes a really bright, intense light that doesn't light up the whole room, but just a portion of it. And you keep the rest of the room dark. And you do this at night when there's not a lot of light coming in through the window. It seems like nighttime is a much better time for the activity of the orbs as well. And you take marbles or any kind of glass thing. I have some marbles, I'll show you. Just glued them together, and you take your little camera that is a digital camera, and you focus real close up on a shiny part of the light of the marble or any other glass thing that you're getting a gleam of light off of, and it makes these most marvelous pictures of orbs. I've got a lot of them on my channel if you care to look at some of the others. They move, but I'm showing you still pictures of them. They come out of the light. I am certain that the orb is not in the glass. Now, sometimes I've captured things in the orb pictures that are maybe inside my camera, some debris or maybe a reflection of something on the glass itself, but this light contains these things because I've seen it so many times. I know I see it coming out of the light, already patterned with some of the colors and patterns that are in the orbs. And you see this violet ray coming from the light? I get that a lot too. And I think I'm beginning to see into another dimension, even though I don't understand it completely yet. This is a little creature. He pops into a lot of my orb pictures. I call him Harry because he looks like a little hairy spider. But you'll see him in a lot of my pictures. This, I went way up into the orb with the closest my camera would go up into it. And see, they're so brilliantly colored, and they got all these little circles, little tiny circles, bigger circles, white circles. And then, of course, there's this little pea pod looking thing that's always in the same spot, so it must be something inside my camera. And there's just so many things I'm noticing about all these orb pictures. See, this one has the pea pod in it again right there. And lately I've noticed some of my latest photos have 3 or 4 pea pods in them. It's like they're growing inside there or something. And they pretty much stay in the same place, so I'm thinking, yeah, this is something in my camera. Don't know what it is. I don't know how to go inside the workings of a camera and clean it either. But I did buy a new camera, so I'm getting some pictures that don't have all that in it. And I also don't get hairy, so hairy may be a piece of debris, I don't know. Or that camera may just be very special in some kind of special way, with some kind of special things in it. I know that sounds silly, but you know, you've got to let your mind out of the box that says everything has to be a certain way. Because I'm getting some unusual pictures of light. Look, this is inside one of the orbs. Isn't that beautiful? This is like an art form. I mean, some of these pictures I'm taking could be framed and put in an art gallery. They're just that beautiful. And but they're more than just beautiful art, and they're more than just a novelty to look at and be amused by. This light is information. And I've looked at it so much, and I can see this light with or without the camera. I can see it with the naked eye. I see it differently, though. I see a bigger panorama of it. And also, this light has sort of embedded itself in my head, sort of. I know that sounds weird, but when I place my finger on my eye toward the nose, and I press with my eyes closed just slightly, a bright ring of light I can see on the inside of me. And it flashes really brilliant. It's a ring, like a ring you'd wear on your hand. It's a ring of really bright light. It's on either side, the right and the left. And it's sort of in the peripheral view. It's sort of over to the side, so it's hard for me to just focus my eyes on it real good, because you know how it is when you have something in your peripheral view. But lately, it seems to be moving more closer to the center than it used to be in the beginning. So I think it is evolving in me. And you know, all this that I read about light, we are light, and we're becoming light beings. And I'm really excited about it. I'm excited all by myself, it seems. I can't get many other people interested in this. I haven't really tried so much, though, so I shouldn't even say that. But I wish other people would explore taking pictures this way. I explain how to do it very well on my YouTube channel. There's lots of explanations if you care to look for it there. And I think we need to see this light and let it teach us something, although it's not going to speak in words. It's going to give us thoughts about what is it? Can we communicate with it? Is this something new? Is this a cosmic light ray that's just now showing itself? I mean, we did pass 2012, 1221, but truth is I was seeing these way before that. I have been seeing light in various different ways that evolve. They get better all the time. Look at this one shot right here. Isn't that beautiful? I wish I could make a clay creation, because I'm always making things out of clay or wire or or paper. But it's hard to mimic nature. Nature is just beautiful. Her creations and her colorings. And see, light just is so busy. It's so stringy. And I've said this before in other videos, but there are quantum physicists who are saying, oh, the string theory, we're all connected. Well, I'm glad they're saying that now. Particle physicists, quantum physicists, I wish I could get some of their attention. But we are connected. And this light is stringy because we're all connected by these little tiny invisible strings. Only now, because of this photography that I'm able to do, and anybody else, if they would try it, is able to do, we can see the strings and patterns and colors. They all mean something. The movement. It's not just the play of light on glass. It's much, much more. It's that, but it's much, much more. Look at this really holy one. And sometimes these orbs, they elongate themselves like a long tube. And some of them have holes, and there's Harry again. He has these little white spots on him that look like eyes. Anyway, that's the name I've given him because he just shows up in my pictures so often. And look at this one, how brilliant. The colors in it. That's where I went close in to an orb to get some of the beautiful color. Sacrifice seeing the whole thing just to see a little tiny portion of it. But it is really something that I think deserves looking into. But I will say this one thing, it's not a fear, but it is a thought. I mean, recently there was a young boy, or someone posted this on Facebook, but he discovered a way to detect cancer in its earliest stages, something that's not been done by millions of dollars spent in research to find the cure for cancer. This young man found a way of detecting it at a very early stage, which means they can kill the cancer at an early stage, and more people won't have to live with cancer and treat it in the drastic ways that they have to after it gets kind of out of hand. But some people think of the conspiracy that, well, if we had a cure for cancer, then there's no more research money to be granted to find the cure. And this is not just about cancer, it's about a lot of things. Energy, for one. Free energy would just destroy so much money-making business. The oil companies and gas companies, they don't want free energy. It's us people, ordinary people like you and I, that will bring these things to, just like the young guy that discovered the way of detecting cancer cells. Well, I don't know if quantum physicists are going to be real interested in this, although I think they should be, for the reason that it's done so cheaply. I mean, a digital camera, a light, a room, shine the light in the room, take the picture. Not a lot of expense. But there are so many other experiments that I want to be doing with this light. Like sometimes I take pictures with music on in the background, or someone speaking. I did a video that I will be posting pretty soon, a part of Obama's State of the Union speech. I have an orb that's moving in real time as he was speaking, and you can study that. Oh, look at this one now. You can study the movement to see if there's any correlation of the movement of the orb and the truth of what he has to say. Because I have done videos of preachers preaching about hell and fire and brimstone, and boy, their orbs don't look all that great. They have shadowy things in them. They're not brilliantly colored. Now, this orb is about to enter another orb. They go inside of one another. Sometimes I get the whole round thing and it looks like a snake eating its tail, because the tail end will go into the front end that opens up like a big old mouth, and sometimes you can see it inside of there too. And look at this orb, these two orbs. There's two of them there. There's really probably, who knows how many there are. When you see one, other orbs come through it and from it. Look at this, isn't this interesting? So I'm studying all this light, wishing for others to want to study it with me and to give me their comments and their input and their experiments that they're doing with light, because this is not something I want to keep secret. I want everyone to have it available freely, just like anything that's of God should be freely given. And look at this one. Isn't this interesting how the light just made this pattern? It's like some kind of geometry, isn't it? I'll turn the camera a little bit so you can see that. Anyway, I have thousands now of pictures of orbs doing all kinds of movements, being all kinds of colors, going through one another, losing their color, making patterns that are really strange and beautiful. So much so that I had to buy this thing to put all my pictures on. But I'm thinking I would like to put them on a cloud so that others could be given the code to get into the cloud, and if they want to print these out or make some great artwork of them, they'd be welcome to do that. And I'm thinking very strongly of doing that, getting the thing called the cloud. That's so interesting that we put information into a cloud, and that cloud just is everywhere, and everybody can have access to a cloud where there's all this information. So I'm hoping to do that. And then maybe people will want to make prints of some of these. I'm only showing you a few dozen of them here, but I have hundreds, thousands of pictures, because see, the orbs are everywhere. And last night I was filming orbs in my room. That's pretty much where I filmed all of them. This is just in the air. All this color is in the air, and the light shows it up. There's so many mysteries out there for us to delve into, and this is one that's so easily delved into. Anyone wishing to know more about it can converse with me, comment, whatever you will want to do. I think this is important because God is light, God is power, and we're looking for that power that God is, but it's a power of love. It's not I don't want to enter into doing anything with this in a commercial way, because to me that would sort of degrade it. Not that people who charge for things are wrong or anything, but the highest good will come from what is freely given. And what my purpose to learn is to learn how to manifest. And I won't be able to learn how to manifest from someone who charges, because obviously they don't know how to manifest, or they wouldn't need to charge. So that's why I give out everything freely that I have to give on my YouTube channel. I read books, and I make these videos showing you the orbs, and I'm showing you a picture now again of Harry, who may be a piece of debris in my camera. Now, making these pictures, I have had to say to myself, what is the possibility that I'm fooling myself, and this is something that's got a natural explanation? And I have had a few people make a comment and say, oh, this is something on cameras will do, the digital camera will do it. Well, I do know, I am familiar with orb pictures that digital cameras make. If you go out at night and it's a little misty rain, and you take your camera and shoot your picture into the night sky, up into that misty rain, you're going to get orbs, but they're water orbs. And I've taken pictures of dust orbs too. And sometimes even insects can make an orb-looking little thing, only they look more like fairies than orbs, because they're in flight. But then there are orbs, and there are other kinds. Everything makes an orb. Spiritual things, I think, make an orb. And everything physical. I took a picture of my hair, and the follicles of my hair are just little tiny orbs, just one after another, that make up the strand of hair. It's like Nassim Haramein said, everything's a dot. He got up higher, and everything was still a dot. And when you go in on things, everything's a dot, like an orb dot. It's just circles are the way God creates. And I hope people will want to take pictures like this. I'll go to a few more, and then I will end this discussion. It's getting to be too long. Do check out some of my other videos, and do look in the description bar for these videos here, because I have put some of the books I read from the playlist for them, because I read the entire book, several of Walter Russell's books, and he talks a lot about light in a very intelligent way. And I even have this one called The Man Who Tapped into the Secrets of the Universe, and it's all about his life. It wasn't written by him, it was written about him. He was a man of great accomplishments, and you might enjoy that. So I will put a few of my playlists over in the description bar, and be sure to check them out. Oh, and all my orbs that I take a picture of with the camera that has a little debris maybe in it, well, they have eyes on the orbs, but the eyes are in the same place on the orb pretty much in all the other orbs it shows, so it couldn't be something in my camera because it wouldn't know how to go to the different orbs and pick out places to be that are similar. So there's so many mysteries concerning this. I want so bad to have others exploring it with me and sharing their thoughts, because we're not powerless people. We have such potential within us. All we lack is a willingness and a discipline not to just sit around watching television every day and just gratifying our senses all the time. We have to take time to reflect on things. And I encourage people to do that and explore and believe in yourself, because you are, in part, your God. How did this one woman put it? She said, we're part of God and part of the whole and whole of the part. That's how she put it. It's all within us. Everything we see that looks like it's outside of us is really within us. Hard as that is to believe, that means it's very tiny. Maybe tiny is not really the word. Maybe there isn't a physical description of it. But we try to make everything physical. Get a physical description of things. When spirit doesn't abide by those physical laws. Some of these are so interesting. I've got it on real close-up view on my computer, so they're really turning out pretty. I'll show you a few more. I hope I've gotten some people interested in wanting to know more. And communicate with me if you want to in the comment section, or any way you wish. I can send a lot of the books as well as the playlist for reading them, but I have some of the books in my Google files if you care to read instead of listen. Now look at that. Doesn't that look like a light book, a scroll of light? It folds on one side and folds on the other. It fans out. Look, this fan is going right through that one. Sometimes the color falls out of them and right into another one right beside it. And they do the twist. This one's doing the twist. I'm having fun showing you these pictures. Okay, now. Well, this is the Dove Lady. I'm going to end here with the Dove Matrix showing. This is my creation. I created this ideal. Sometimes, you know, you want to press your ideal out there like, oh, it's so great because it was my ideal. But, you know, you have to be able to let go of your pet peeves and pet ideas, but put them out there because, you know, maybe they will resonate with someone else and they'll be able to run with it and create with it. So, this is the Dove Lady, over and out for now.